Have you ever tried a panel interview? If so, how did you deal with it? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Hey there Ninja! Welcome back to my channel. This is Rhea once again. You're still watching Call Center Ninja, and in this channel we're all about call center lifestyle, tips, and about career. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Just click the red subscribe button below, and if you have already subscribed, then thank you so much. I received a lot of questions about how to deal with panel interviews. When I was applying as a call center agent years ago, I never tried to be in a panel interview. It's always one-on-one interview. But I was able to try it when I was already applying as a call center trainer. I know how nerve-wracking it can be to be in a room with several people interviewing you. Now, I have actually heard of a panel interview. Is it a panel interview or a group interview wherein there is, let's just say, 1 to 2 interviewers, and you are not the only one being interviewed. Like in this setting, there are 2 interviewers or even more than that, and then let's say 2 or 3 of you interviewees are in that same room and are taking turns. So I thought it's kind of odd to be in the same room with other interviewees while being interviewed, and other people can hear what your answers are or what you're talking about. Somehow you feel intimidated by the other interviewees that might be listening to you, obviously, because you are in the same room. So how do you really go about that? My first tip is to focus on the person who is interviewing you or who is asking you the question. So in a group setting where there is more than one interviewer, you can get easily distracted because there are a lot of people talking to you, maybe 1, 2, or 3. But of course, they won't be asking you questions all at the same time. Most likely, you will be asked by one interviewer and then the second interviewer and then the third, right? They will not be asking questions all at the same time, although that can happen, especially when it comes to follow-up questions. But when you're starting, obviously, you will be asked by only one interviewer. And for you not to get distracted, focus on the question at hand. Do not focus on other questions yet. If you're asked one question at the beginning, then focus on answering that question. And once you have answered that question, if there's a follow-up question, then you answer the follow-up question. If you have answered the follow-up question, then most likely you will be asked a second question. You answer that question and then the next. So one question at a time. You don't have to answer everything all at once because that is just totally impossible. Here's tip number 2. This is applicable if you are willing to do it just so you can get a feel of the situation, the interview session, and the environment that you are in at the moment. So say for example, you are scheduled to have a group interview with other interviewees, then most likely some of them you might meet before the actual interview. So if you have the guts to speak with some of them, start or engage in a friendly conversation, then you will not be intimidated anymore as soon as you get into the room for the interview because you have already spoken to some of them beforehand. That makes the environment more relaxed because you know that you have already spoken to your co-applicants even before the interview started. So do that and just try it. You know, even if you're an introvert, just ask one question or two, like, are you also applying? Are we going to be in the same interview room? Or you can ask something like, is this your first time to apply or have you already applied before? Tip number 3 is to stick to your answers. In a group interview where you can actually hear some of the other applicants' answers, you might get swayed by how they answer or what they answer, right? But remember that you are your own person and you are there to apply because You have your own skills, contributions, strengths, and you have a different background and experiences. Be careful and do not be swayed by what they are saying. If they say something good and you feel that it's a good answer, don't even try to copy it, because you might get sidetracked and you might forget exactly what you want to say to the interviewer that pertains to your own background or your own experience. So just stick to your answers, or the answers that you have in mind, the answers that you have practiced beforehand. Tip number 4, remember that although it is a job interview, it is still and will always be a conversation between people. So you, your interviewer or interviewers, you are conversing. And most of the interviewers I experienced are actually friendly. There might be one of them who will act as a heckler of some sort or someone who will distract you, but don't be. Just remember that they are testing you, how you respond in that kind of situation, or how you respond when you are nervous, or when you're put in a situation where you don't know what to do or you don't know how to answer. And that is normal. Again, it's just a test. So do not be distracted. Just focus, eyes on the prize, and again, remember that you are just talking to someone who wants to get to know you better and who wants to hire you for the job, and they want to know who you are so that they will know that you are the right fit for the company. Tip number 5. As early as now, you have to learn how to stop thinking about what other people might say or think about you. In a group setting wherein other people can hear you talk or answer, you might get intimidated because they can hear you speak, or they might think that you're not qualified for the job, or that your answers are not good enough, or that you're not fit for the job. Now, don't even think about that anymore, because that kind of mindset will just lead you nowhere. If you keep comparing yourself to other people, let's just say your co-applicants or your co-interviewees, your self-esteem will just go down the drain. You have to start being confident with yourself, even though in a lot of aspects, in every place you will go to, there is really a chance that someone out there is better than you in whatever you do. And that is okay. You don't have to be better than them. You just have to be better than who you are yesterday, right? So you have to impress your interviewer and not impress the other co-interviewee or the other applicant beside you who is also in the same room answering the interview questions. When you start thinking about what the other applicant will think about your answers, you will lose that confidence. So make sure that before you start the interview, you already have that mindset that, you can do it. With the right preparation, with the right exercises, you will be able to survive that group or panel interview. So that's about it for today's video. I hope you've learned something and have learned some ideas on how to deal with a group interview. I sincerely wish you well, and if you like this content, please like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you again on my next videos. So take care and bye-bye.